Hello everyone, welcome back. For this time, let's have a new lesson, and that is all about the types of claims. Types of claims is under the subject reading and writing skills. So let's discuss what are those types of claims. For the types of claims, there are three of it. The first one, we have the claim of fact. Claim of fact states a quantifiable assertion or a measurable topic. So therefore, when you do this claim of fact, it is quantifiable. It is a measurable topic. Next, this is a claim of fact if that is something or that assertion something exists or will exist based on data. For example, if something existed, we have a lot of animals that are present before, but nowadays they no longer exist. They are extinct. So that is assertion that something existed. For exists, so right now our president is Rodrigo Duterte. And for will exist based on data, that means, for example, a certain country like the Philippines would probably gone extinct because of climate change. So that is claim of fact. Another definition is this is a claim of fact if it is from a reliable source. So basically, that claim of fact was a statement from a teacher or maybe some educational expert or a reliable source like a policeman saying that you will be caught for that certain crime. Another, it answers the question what. So those are the definition of claim of fact. We have here an example. Smoking causes cancer. Now, how are we going to identify if this one is a claim of fact? These are the questions that you have to answer. First question, is it true that smoking causes cancer? Second, can it be verified? Can you check it through Google or through a book that smoking causes cancer? How are you going to verify it? Maybe nowadays, since you belong to this technology, you can identify or verify it maybe through the internet. Can you? And the last one is, does it exist? So the question would be like, is there a person who has a cancer because of smoking? If your answer are yes or is yes to those questions, then this is a claim of fact. Another example, people can reduce the severity of depression by increasing the sunlight exposure each day. So just like with the first questions, the first questions that we have with the first statement, is it true that you can reduce your depression by just exposing to sunlight? Can you verify it through the internet or through the book? Does it really exist? If your answers are yes, then that is a claim of fact. Next, another types of claim is the claim of value. This claim of value asserts that something can be qualified. So before we have quantified. Now this value is qualified. So we're talking about the quality here. Arguments about moral, when we say moral, that means it is ethical, whether it is right or wrong. Philosophical, that means about wisdom. Or aesthetic topic. Aesthetic, that means beauty. So you are setting a standard here. It tries to prove that some values are more or less desirable. So this value could be desirable for a certain person, or this value is not desirable for a certain person. And the last definition is, it makes judgment based on certain standards. So those are the definition of the claim of value. We have here an example. Public schools are public schools are better than private schools. I'm sorry for that. Now, this statement is a claim of value. Why? because one is trying to set a standard that a public school is better than a private school. His judgment is based on his set of quality, his philosophy that public school is better than a private school. So that is an example of claim of value. Next, let's proceed to the last type of claim, and that is the claim of policy. Claim of policy attempt to persuade you or others. So we have here persuade, that means they are trying to change your mind to do something. It uses the terms like should, ought, or must. So this claim suggests a remedy to a certain problem. So there is identified problem and a person is trying to suggest something. It suggests a policy to solve the problem. That is a claim of policy. And that policy should be made or be established. We have here an example. Smoking should be prohibited in public schools or public places. We have here the word should. So certainly that is an example of a claim of policy. Another one, we identify this one as claim of policy because someone is trying to set a policy that smoking should not be allowed in public places. So that is the three types of claim. Now let's proceed with this short evaluation if you really understand what I just discussed a while ago. I will present to you 5 statements or claims and you will just identify whether it is a fact, a value, or a policy. Are you ready? Let's start with number 1. Alcoholism is a genetic disorder. The answer is, it is a claim of fact. Very good. Number 2, teachers face numerous problems today. And what is your answer? You are correct. That is a claim of value. Next, Amor Sola is my favorite Filipino writer or painter. And that is, it is value. Very good. The 4th one is, mandatory jail terms should be imposed for drunk driving violations. And your answer is, that is correct. There is policy. The last one, social networks are the most distracting website on the internet. The answer is value. Did you got all those correctly? If you got 5 out of 5, then give yourself a big clap. So that ends my lesson for this time. See you again in my next video for the reading and writing skills. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.